Morning. Yes, I love it. Yes.
I thought that would be so much fun.
Yes. One,
Like
100%. Yeah. Oh, thank you. There is RBT today. Are there who there are RBTs you haven't heard from yet? Like Bills, you haven't heard from Dr. Burrow, right? Is I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Yes. No, night before Christmas. Yeah. So yeah, that was my thought was like, if do you have Slack on your phone or your computer?
I haven't yet on both.
Okay, I was thinking that like as we're doing like the Tavera stuff, that if somebody like didn't get the link or something, we can keep on the admin side to make sure that they like the resend the invites.
Where do we resend the invite?
So in your and then like have like a casual and so like clean video over there like watch and something like that. So go to program and then back then if anybody, let's say like one person sits on them. Yep. Oh, and then the other my other
Last work we had.
so I'll just tell them to direct message you. Yeah, I'll tell them to direct message you. And then on the presentation the presentation of the new site, there are four that very one full town that we want to talk about better because I'm struggling to remember the detail. That's fine. There's something. Yeah. And then there was another one. We could talk about word for scroll up. It's the first four.
Center for anxiety.
Yeah, being
I can do the center, fire,
and then I'll do it. And we can both talk about like the yeah, but sound good? Okay. Good morning. Okay.
Is everything okay?
They got you stuff.
Yeah, we got it taken care of.
I was like up at 4 in the morning, not being able to sleep, like, I had ordered it for the package, but I didn't something to deal with.
No, and one, I think they had an event here last night, so they're like, we're up here, the mics were up here, and so I think that there was some things that were already just like left over, so I just like.
Have you seen a
I
person? or-
Yeah.
Oh,
He's back now,
Oh,
so
Like,
yeah, worked out.
And then, yeah, during the Q&A time, maybe they can see
That's what I was figuring was like,
Table, so probably down there, I'll set up the assembly line. And then, plus, I guess, we just haven't put them on last minute. They're doing cookie decorating, so I thought that'd be less expensive.
that works.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
Right, like they're organizing their, right, but, you know, I mean, the basic foundation of contract is both parties agree to their, right? And, if it's related to like travel, so no, absolutely, so please just start writing everything, you know, not for your, you know, being eligible. Name and email of your supervisor, and I will reach out to them.
Yeah. Not much. Send me an email to remind me, because I need prompts right now. My brain can only hold so many things. So send me prompts, either text me or email me just to remind me to like follow up. Yeah. Yes, we have a Q&A today, so you can ask questions. Yeah. Okay, do you have other questions about the slide?
Nope. I will just roll with it as we come and be like, okay,
Yeah, I mean, that's what I figured.
I got what I got. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm
I
upright.
think they also have what they have too.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Okay. I'm going to leave the music on just low.
Well, we have quite a few things.
Oh, that was the other thing I was gonna ask you was, would you mind putting together a Google poll that it says, I set up my data
Oh, okay.
for our section.
I have found.
I'm recording. Yep. Oh, we're not doing a student presentation side, so.
Yeah. But
That side. Oh, the Severa part. Oh, yeah.
so I am on the,
Perfect.
but I have not done. Google Form. Yeah, I know. Okay. And do I just do it like
Yeah, so you can, yeah, I mean, do it in kind of a moment, so. You can do it in there. And then go new. Or form.
Oh, okay.
Just like-
Oh, no,
just
I'm
Google
sorry.
Forms. I was like,
I
I'm pretty
was
sure you've
like,
done
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And it's just like the 2 questions that way that we have our second, because I didn't really put one together, so. Okay, let's get us started. All right, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Listen, it's early. Please just talk to me. Just talk to me so we can all stay awake, okay? So welcome to Practicum Extravaganza. Yeah. So today, we're doing things a little bit different. We're going to do an introduction. We're going to talk about Severa. We'll do an overview of the practicum process. We're going to present new sites, and then at the end, we'll have a Q&A session with our HCC supervisors. So what's different? We are not going over every single site like we normally do.
Many of them are the same, and you don't need to sit through and hear every single one. So that's why I asked you all to give me videos. We've created a video library where you can go in and you can watch the videos along with the Practicum catalog and view the ones and get more information from the sites that you are interested in instead of us sitting here and just listening to everybody talk for 2 minutes. So that's the first part. The second part is that we'll only be reviewing new sites. So we have a number of new sites, and Dr. Ellis and I will be reviewing those and just introducing those to you. They'll also be in the catalog, of course, for your viewing later. And then last, pay attention throughout, because at the end there'll be prizes, because it's an extravaganza, like there has to be prizes, right? Right. So pay attention to the little details and there'll be prizes at the end. All right. Okay, is everybody ready? Do y'all have computers? Okay, get a device out. Computer, iPad, phone, some sort of device.
Never thought we'd say this.
I know,
Yeah.
you know, you didn't think,
Everyone stop
Didn't
paying
think-
attention to get your computers out.
get your computer out. All right. So we are going to start Tavera, and it is about damn time, as Lizzo would say. So here it is. We are doing. Yes. Oh, yes. Thank you. Dr. Ellis is available on Slack. If any questions or things arise, you can direct message her on Slack and she'll be able to answer them or help you with anything with Tavera related. Okay, we are doing what I'm calling a soft launch because it's, you know, there are a lot of details when it comes to setting up a platform like this. So today what we're doing is we're going to get you registered. I'm going to go through a basic profile navigation, and then we'll also talk about basic hours input, just an introduction. And then I'm going to show you the site catalog, okay, and how to navigate that. We will not be using Tavera for your evaluations this semester or your hours unless you want to use it for your hours. You can use it for your hours if you'd like to for the semester and hours, but you are not required to use Tavera for anything except for Practicum catalog. Okay, does that make sense? Everybody good on that one? All right. Okay, so Tavera, setting it up. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1, open your email. You should have an email from Tavera that looks like this. Your login or your username is your email, okay? Click on the, oh, that's your username. Click here and open this single use link, okay?
If anyone cannot find your email, just send me a message in Slack and I will resend your invite right now.
Okay. Use the single use link. Step 2.
Hold on, let's just see. Who has clicked the link?
Again, okay. Step 2, create a password. Work on that one.
I know none of you have ever done
I
this.
know
before, so.
these are hard steps. Create a password. 8 to 30 characters, 1 number, special character, upper lowercase. All right. And then step 3, set your location.
So raise your hand when you get to set your location. We gotta wait for that. It's been there? All right.
It's pretty quick. All right, is anybody not at set your location? Okay, keep going.
Yeah, say that, yeah.
Oh, the Wi-Fi.
So no. and
Okay.
there can be slow, so, yeah.
Okay,
And seems- I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
look and seems faces.
okay. Well,
I
we'll
just
see.
feel like bounces sometimes and it's like, we're getting.
Yeah,
there, We're getting.
It
there.
takes a moment.
Oh.
Okay. Do we have a thumbs up for set your location? No, still? We got 2 thumbs up, okay, okay. This guy.
I'm wondering.
Okay. Are we good? Set your location? Yeah. Okay. That's it. You should be registered. You will get an email that looks like this, registration successful. This is then, once you get this email, excuse me, click your, the login here, and then the open page will look something like this. It should say, welcome to Tavera, and say your name. Or Ginny Weasley, which is what my students say.
There is a Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry in the Practicum Library. It's not real. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So-
Don't apply. Do not apply. Okay. So we good there? Did everybody get that far? Does anybody need help with those 3 steps? Yes. You don't have a
I'm
link,
going
okay.
through 'em. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is there any confusion on those 3 steps though, in order to get into it? Once you get the link, is there any confusions on 1, 2, 3? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move on. So those of you who don't have the link, watch your email for it, and then catch up. Okay, so once you are in your Tavera, I'm going to go through and let me pause and show you. Maybe. I am gonna need to mirror this. Sorry, just a second. I don't know what happened. Okay. Let me pull all this to the front. Okay, all right, so now here we're in Tavera. Okay, and I'll log in, and this is what your page will look like. Something like this. Now I'm leaving this up here because you can set your hours. So if you have regular occurring patients, you can set them as recurring hours. And when every time you log into Tavera and that hour has passed, it will come up like this for you to verify that you did in fact see that client. Okay, so then you can go save records. Well, check them first to make sure, yes, I did in fact see them. And then you can save records, and then they will go in. We'll do this later. I'll show you some of these things. But you'll just save them, and then they'll go right into your hours, okay? So then this is what your homepage looks like. It's pretty simple, straightforward. Here's where the timesheets are, okay? You can find them here, or you can find it over here to the left-hand side. We go to enter timesheets. I prefer looking at it from the track view. You can play with all of these to see which view makes the most sense to you. Track view seems to make the most sense to me personally. So this is the way I'm going to show you. When you go in to track your hours, you're going to pick your day, right? So today's Wednesday the 7th. You're going to choose the type of therapy. So let's say individual therapy. You'll go here to the plus. You'll put in 60 minutes or however long the session was. You can put in the time. So 8:15 to 9:15. Well, let's do 7:15 to 8:15, huh?
People are asking.
No. Okay, so then you put that in there and then you're going to pick your setting. So all of these things are in here so that when you go to put your hours in for APIC, for internship, you're tracking all of the demographics that they'll be asking for later. So it takes a minute, it just takes a second, but this way you don't have to go back and try to like tally all of the demographic information. So then you're going to pick the setting. So whatever that setting is, let's say it was inpatient psychiatric hospital, you'll say, okay. And then clients, here is where you're going to want to put in an individual client, okay? In here, you can create, you're gonna push the plus sign, right? And then you're gonna create a client. The code name is just the pseudonym because we don't wanna put, it's not HIPAA compliant in the sense of we're not putting specific client information in here, okay? So we'll say JK is this person's name. And then you're gonna say the client type. Is this an individual, group, family? It's the individual, put their gender. We can put their age. And then it's grouped by the same groupings that you'll have as options in APIC. So we'll say 18 to 64, sexual orientation, disability, race, ethnicity, and you can select more than one as well. Okay, race, ethnicity, there you go. Okay, now, something important to note that feels very weird. There is no save sign, save buttons. It just saves automatically. So it's gonna feel very weird to do all of that and then just press X, but that's what you do because it has saved it. And now you're gonna go in here, make sure you click the one that you just created, JK, and then say, okay, and it's done. Now that hour is there. You can make it repeating if you want to. I see this client every Tuesday or Wednesday at this time, and you can set it as repeating if you want to. Then again, it's gonna feel very weird to not push save. You're just gonna exit out of there and there's the hour, okay? Then I'm going to show you one more thing and then we'll be done with the hours piece of it. Actually, I'll show you two more things. You can, actually, no, I'm going to go here. Go to assignments. In assignments, you will see hours reports. We are in December. So we'll pull up December, go start. And then it's going to have your name. You'll put what year you're in. Are you Prac 1, Prac 2, or Prac 3? Prac 1, you'll select your supervisor. Maybe, there it is. For program faculty, always just put me. Just put me. Just put me. Your supervisor, her supervisors, Minerva McGonigal. And then you're going to also select the date range. So this is December. So we'll do November 1 to, I mean, we could do January 1. It doesn't really matter, right? We're here, there. Okay. And then we're going to do this, generate PDF. And it will show us. This is your hours report, okay? Yeah, 0, 0, 0, 0. So this is an hours report that does not require a signature. So this is just like, so we'll have you report your hours monthly, which you don't actually have to send for signature. It's just so that we can be tracking and for you to be tracking month to month. At the end of the semester, you'll send it in for signatures. And then where it says generate report, it'll just say send for signatures and you'll select your supervisor. Okay. All right. So that's the quick and dirty about hours. Now I'm going to go on to the Practicum catalog. Okay, any questions so far? Are we following? Simple enough? Okay, oh, I see a thumbs up. Thank you. It's us. Yes, thank you. All right, so Practicum catalog. Now you're gonna go to site placements here. Once you are placed somewhere, so most of you are linked to a site already, you should show up somewhere that shows you that like, hey, I'm at BHC, and it'll show it there. If you're not, then it'll just say you have not started a field experience yet. You can go here and put browse all sites, and here's our catalog. So here's all the sites. Nice and pretty, yes, yes. And so then what you're gonna do for a few things, you can now sort it by name. So you can put a specific name in here. You can do HCC. Make sure it comes up. Good.
I tried to put all the acronyms in there.
Yeah. So you can put an HCC and it'll come up. You can also favorite sites and star them, and then you can just filter by your favorites. You're starred.
Yeah, it's running slow.
It's yeah,
I think because we have.
because everybody is on it. So you can show just your starred. You can also filter it by city, and you can also put miles from your zip code. So you can do it by how close or far from your home. The other thing the important one though is tags. So outside of zip code and favorites, what you want to look at are tags. So in tags, there are 58 possible tags. I have a slide that shows that it's like screenshots of all the tags, but that's what these color codes are over here. And generally speaking, this is like the type of therapy or the type of setting. So we're talking ACT, we're looking at adults, we're looking child, we're looking bariatric, we're looking primary care, and you can select several. So let's say assessment, I'm interested in assessment, I'm interested in behavioral interventions, I'm interested in CBT in children, and then anything that has those tags specifically will show up here. Okay. Yes. We're working on that one. Yeah, that one in particular got put on a lot of things, and we're like,
Someone who was helping out thought that college meant like young adults, so that just anyone who's young adult would be college.
Yeah.
And so and I was like, why do we have college at Dornbecker?
yeah.
None of these kids are in college.
Yeah. So we're editing some of those tags, but yes, yeah. Generally speaking though, that's how that works. So now the last thing I'm going to show you about the catalog, you can clear them here. So I'm going to pull up HCC. Now, if you want to get the full picture of what it is, you're going to push the X or the plus sign. Bless you. Push the plus sign. You're going to get this quick picture of like the address. And then this thing over here that says document. In the documents, you're going to see what it says site information form. This is what you want to click on to expand to what the information. Oh, hi, Holly. It's going to expand it to give you all the information about the site. Okay, who the site representative or the site director is, the site overview, the type of patients, population served, supervision, all the information is going to be here. The thing that you want to pay attention, there's all the things you want to pay attention to, but for the application process specifically, you want to pay attention to position information. In position information, it will tell you right here the application information. So they want a CV, a cover letter, and then here requirements for placement. So along with your CV and cover letter, please respond to the following prompt in no more than one page. Okay, so some of them will say that. So you'll want to pay attention to this area for the application process specifically. And then email, and the email will be the site director email. unless it specifies otherwise. Okay, so this is all the information. And then the other part is the virtual practicum library. So it wouldn't let me upload the videos because they were too big. So what you're gonna do is you can click on that, you're gonna click on this. It'll take us to my cute little graphic. Isn't it cute? Tell me it's cute. Thank you, thank you. It's hyperlinked. And here are all of your beautiful videos. Look at those wonderful faces. So they're all here and organized by name. So you can access that. They're also posted, the link is also posted in Canvas. So you can access it that way too, if you want. Okay. Let me think. Is there any questions about how to navigate the catalog part? Is that straightforward enough? Yeah, all right. Okay, we're moving and grooving. All right, so moving on from Tavera. Well, almost moving on from Tavera. So again, profile navigation, how to input hours, site catalog. I did the European spelling here, catalog, navigation, how to use the filters. Now, the last two important things, use the help button. Don't text me every single time you have a problem. Use the help button. That's what it is there for. So use the help button, okay? It's over there. Over here is where the learning space is. In the learning space, you can find videos that walk you, like short videos from like 45 seconds to 3 minutes that will walk you through almost everything that you want to do in Tavera and how to navigate it. So I would encourage you over break, explore Tavera, start playing with it, use the learning space to watch the videos and kind of figure some things out. And again, use the help button, okay? So it will have, when you click on it, there are the first one shows up where you can link to specific articles or videos, or you can link to live help and that you can talk to somebody and chat to get information, okay? The other quick note about Tavera, when you're going to search it in the URL space, don't put in Tavera because that's not the URL. It is georgesci.tavera.app. But if you once you put it in, I have my stuff to remember it, right? So like as soon as you start to put in George Fox Sci, then it'll auto-populate, but don't put in Tavera first because you'll get frustrated because it won't come up. So just a note there. All right, here are the tags. Again, that's just there for you all. I'm gonna PDF this. It'll also be in Canvas so you can have access to it all later. And I already talked about this, position information. This is where you need to pay attention to for additional things on top of the CV and cover letter. There it is. Yes. And the virtual library. I already talked about this. I'm ahead of schedule. And then the last thing is that the Practicum library and sites will continue to be updated as we go, so throughout break. So please be paying attention to any notices that you see coming through because I'll be continually updating things and I want you to be up to date on all the latest and greatest, okay? All right, how are we doing?
So if you have a supplemental site that is just you are currently working on with, and you want to add hours, please send me a Slack message so I can add your site and affiliate your site with you. So a couple people are doing that right now, but send me a Slack and I will add your site so you can log any of your supplementals.
Great. Okay, we doing all right? Okay. So we're just gonna go through some basic things. Some of this is it's the same stuff that we've gone over in the past, but it's worth reviewing. What you need to know about practicum and to remember, not to stress out because everybody gets a side, okay? You get a side and you get a side and you get a side and everybody gets a side. So please don't stress out because we will get you a site. Even if it doesn't happen immediately, you will get a site, okay? So, but the biggest thing is making sure that we're thinking big picture. Consider all of the possible transferable skills, broadening your exposure. So not kind of staying super narrow in the areas and sites that you're looking at and wanting. And also think about applying to several sites just to increase your exposure and potential for matching. You can also always reduce your site list when you go to match or rank. Want to talk about this one? Big picture considerations.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I?
No.
All right.
So one of the common questions that people ask, and as all of you are building up your clinical training history is, you know, where should I go? And oh my goodness, I want to work as a VA. Where do I need to go in order to qualify to go to an internship at the VA, right? So there is recognition in the grade scheme. So these are your most common internship settings, right? So this is going to be 99% of your internship type accessibility, right? So you have VAs, hospitals, community-based. So each of these site types take people from a broad range of programs all throughout the United States, and they know for a fact, the VAs know for a fact that not all of you got to train at a VA, right? It is physically impossible. And so there's recognition. So when you consider the big picture, you don't have to, like if you want to work with military populations, you do not have to have worked directly with military populations to qualify. Hundreds of, like thousands of people have gone through VA training that have not had military history. However, they do need to know that you understand that the military is a unique and distinct culture, and they do need to know that you understand what it's like to work with specific cultures or specific populations. So when you're looking at VA, when you're looking at military, what you're going to be able to communicate to them is I can work with difficult populations. I can work with psychiatric inpatient or addiction. I can work with medical complexity because those tend to be the things that they see. Psychiatric inpatient hospitals, integrated primary care, all of those are highly desirable to the VA. If you work for psychiatric inpatient or you work for any form of residential treatment, the VA considers that general qualification. Right. So when you consider these, VA medical centers are looking for your cultural awareness, they're looking for your cultural sensitivity, and they're looking for your ability to be flexible and integrate into and work with a unique and distinct closed culture. Right, because veterans have a unique and distinct closed culture. Hospitals and integrated primary care sites, they want to know that you have been exposed to medical knowledge. How many of you worked in primary care or hospital settings? How many of you, A1C, CPP, CMP, right? Like they're hurdling things to you all the time. And they do not want to have to try and describe every aspect, right? Like it just, so again, they want to know that you have medical knowledge and medical exposure. That's very easy because every single patient you've ever seen has had medical issues. You just need to learn how to sell and market yourself. Community behavioral health clinics, these are the most broad spectrum. Literally everything goes for community behavioral health. How many people here are at the BHC or been through the BHC? You have the broadest practicum site that we have to offer. You are literally seeing 6-year-olds, 70-something-year-olds, you're doing assessment, you're doing individual therapy, you're doing group therapy, like literally community behavioral health is everything. University health and counseling, they want to know that you have very good suicide risk assessment skills. And they want to know that you can help people in transition. Children's hospitals, very heavily assessment based. They want you to have exposure to kids. If you did a school district, if you did a school, that's perfectly fine for a children's hospital. They're 100% okay with that. They don't mind if all your evaluation experience has been IEPs. They want to know that you can sit in a room with a kid, right? And that you can talk to parents. Right, and so neuropsychological assessment, very heavily assessment based. Neuropsychological assessment sites are very competitive. Neuropsych people, anybody?
All of my fourth years right now, yeah, they're very competitive, so those want hours. So whatever you're doing, it doesn't matter, they don't care if your hours for IEP evaluations of children. They do not care, they want to know that you have hours, standardized assessment, and that you have drank the Kool-Aid and have settled into writing reports for the rest of your life. That's what they want to know. And so, and then consortiums are most broad spectrum, so you can get into a VA if you started with a high school, you did a primary care site, and you did community behavioral health. VAs would love that. So remember that the site is not as important as the broad spectrum nature of your experience. And if you come to me in your fourth year and you're like, hey, I really want to work at a VA, I don't have any inpatient experience, I don't have any real experience with difficult populations, I'm going to say you're lying, you just don't know that you have experience with difficult populations. But I will absolutely help you to write your cover letters and market yourself. That is no problem. But please understand, you don't have to have a perfect and direct trajectory. You just need a broad spectrum experience of working with people and the understanding of the site that you're applying to. Right? So it's okay. It's wonderful to have schools. It's wonderful to have assessment. Community behavioral health is a phenomenal baseline for literally every career. It doesn't have to be site specific in order to get into a site specific internship. If you ever want to talk about kind of translatable skills, I'm always available and we'll go through this extensively during fourth year.
Awesome. Okay. So with that, also, like I already said, be in communication. This is the stay on the rope lingo is left over from previous years. The first years I gave this presentation to them, reminded them that I am not an outdoorsy person. I don't hike. I do not climb things. But the stay on the rope is the idea of like when you go, you know, climbing, rock climbing, and you're on a rope and you're connected to somebody else, right? Right. And you're supposed to stay on the rope. I don't know the lingo, but that's like the term, right? And you're supposed to like, isn't there like belays and belay, like belay on, you know, you're like talking to each other, whatever the terms are, right? But you have to be talking to each other so that you know what's going on, right? So all of that to say, be paying attention, stay in communication with Dr. Ellis and I, and be paying attention to the communications that we're sending out. This is the graphic that I'll be using. So if you see this graphic come up, that means there's something new about practicum stuff. Be that a new site, new information, anything that's coming up, be paying attention. So if you see this come up, like attend to it. Again, even throughout break, please just stay on top of that so that you're not caught off guard when we come back from break. Okay. Your toolbox is really full. I'm also not a handy person. I know what some of these things are, but you really only have two things, your Canvas and Tavera. That's your primary toolbox. In both of those things, you can find, again, I really am into the like European spelling right now. So the site catalog in Canvas, there, it is not there yet, but there will be an analog catalog. Like that, an analog catalog. That was me at like 5 this morning, like, oh, that's so funny. An analog catalog will be there so that if you don't want to go through all of Tavera, it will be there for you, as well as like the spreadsheet version if you want to look at it that way. I'm hoping that you all will find that Tavera is easier to navigate than an analog catalog, but it will be there for you. Any additional information or updates will also be posted in Canvas, Slack, and all the places, but it will live both in Tavera and in Canvas. And again, through when we come back in on the 9th, practicum stuff can be updated all the way up to then. So new name alert. So supplemental, in the past, we've been using like supplemental auxiliary sites. They kind of operated in two different ways. It was kind of confusing. Some people knew what that was, some people didn't. But what we're doing is we are fusing them together now. And instead of calling them supplemental or auxiliary, they are just secondary sites. Secondary sites, okay? Secondary site experience can be there for a variety of reasons, or really two primary reasons. One is you're not getting enough hours, right? You're not getting enough hours and you need a secondary site to kind of make sure that you're getting the number of hours that you need for the semester. And the second is that you just want more experience or more exposure to a specific population. And so you can add a secondary site so that you can get some of that experience. What we've changed is that we have shifted it to making sure that there is a licensed psychologist to supervise you. They don't have to be on site, but you do have to have a licensed psychologist supervising those hours. And then you have to also have an evaluation by that supervisor at the end of the term. The reason, and also assigned clinical training agreement. The reason that we moved to this is that when you go to fourth year and you're going to put all your hours in, Dr. Ellis has to verify all of your hours and has to ensure that all of the hours that you're counting and you're submitting for internship have indeed met these requirements. And so when we haven't been tracking those things, then it makes her job a lot harder to actually verify those things. Also your job harder, because then you have to go back and find out and figure out those things. And if you didn't get them evaluated or you didn't get them signed by a psychologist, you lose out on those hours for count for internship. Now, obviously you get to keep the life experience that you can gain from all of that time, but you'll lose out on the number, and we want you to be able to count all of the hours that you get, okay? So that's why we're fusing them and we are making it just secondary sites.
So APA, in order for an hour to count for your internship, APA requires that it be supervised under a course curriculum. Right, so you literally have to be supervised by a licensed psychologist in some capacity, and you have to be supervised according to competencies. And if we don't have a record of that, we said we can't count the hours. So I hate the idea of any of you doing something until not being able to count them. Also, if any of you are doing additional hours, like many of you who have worked for Cedar Hills have been hired by Cedar Hills, many of you have been hired as people for these. If you want to count those hours, you have to be evaluated by a licensed psychologist who is evaluating those hours under competency. So you can't claim work hours unless you are being supervised under a competency framework. If you have any questions about that, about how to make them count, just reach out to me. I will help you build a project or a system to make them count. Okay, so I'm very big on making the community doing count, but we have to do it according to APA standard.
I'm gonna die. Yeah, seems fitting. Okay. Okay, so secondary sites. Any questions about the secondary site stuff? Well, make sense? We're good. Thumbs. Yeah, all right. Thank you. Okay. Are we good? Do we need a break? Do you need a break or yes? I'm seeing heads. Let's take, what time is it? 10 minutes? 10 minutes, okay? Okay, 10 minutes. Yes.
Track hours.
They don't, you can't just like open up time to track and like, bloop. No. But you can do a bulk. I think. Let me double check. I think you can bulk them. Oh, yeah. Yes.
Little tiny invisible button on the
Yeah.
bottom that
Yeah.
said nobody can see.
Yeah. I can also just move it away from my face. Yeah.
My thing is like loading the whole time. You were
Yeah.
going over like how to add. Like,
Oh, the
the
hours? Yeah, yeah.
and then for the activity, is it supposed to just pop up as like physical therapy, or are we supposed to add each one individually?
So for, you mean like if you're doing a recurring? Oh, what
Yeah,
happened?
like to just even add something. I don't know.
Oh, it's in limbo. Okay. Okay, so if you're doing recurring, you're gonna be doing recurring like type in person. So like,
Yeah, show me. Hannah and Aaron
I'll
are
show
confused,
you.
and I'm like texting them, trying to help. I was like, hold on, ask Dr. Nelson.
I don't know. Am I even still sharing? I have no idea. Was it? Let's back up right here. Okay, so like, here's the recurring. So it'll shows like direct intervention.
So all that should be up there already.
Well, once I say yes, and I verify these things, I verify the setting. And what client this part of the reason this isn't set up is because we changed the hours after I set these as recurring. So what it'll be is now, okay, so now this one is set for this patient and all his demographics for an individual for 1 hour.
Okay, and
On-
this is for the recurring same John Doe
Yep.
person each time.
Yep.
How did you get here?
So when you set it up as repeating, this will pop up anytime you open it and that hour has passed. So like if
Okay.
you set it for 2:00 on Tuesdays,
Okay.
the next Wednesday you open it up, this will pop up and say, hey, you said you were seeing these people.
Okay, but for just adding initially, like starting from scratch, nothing, like on time sheets, I want to add what I did on like this past Tuesday.
Uh-huh.
How do I do that?
So you go to timesheets, so you
Uh-huh.
can do it from that side or you can do it from here. And then you're gonna pick Tuesday, and then you're gonna start with intervention type.
That mine doesn't look like that.
Why
Hold
not?
on, I'll get my.
Oh, so first, here, come here. Here, you need to make sure you pick active track.
Uh-huh,
So you're gonna pick, it should be one of these three. So you would pick Practicum 2.
uh-huh, and all of that should be on there
This is what it
already?
should look like.
Okay, to transfer all the stuff from time to track, you have to do that manually for each one.
There is a way to bulk do it. So I will get that and post it. There's probably already an article if you like look for it on how to bulk do
How to
them.
transfer it,
Or you could probably do it through help and you might be able to just send them a spreadsheet and
and then they
put
can
it-
input it, okay.
Yeah.
I need, when I get up, it's not.
You're fine. I don't think we are gonna make it all the way to 11. No. We're going quick. What was that? I'm sure, every second. Hello.
I think I might need to block this, y'all. My supervisor on there is still Cynthia. and Cynthia is
Oh,
still
yes.
on
Yeah. Yep.
So I don't know if that's something I can change or like. y'all-
It's not, but you can, I think there is a way that you can like request a change. So like if you go to the supervisor, I think you can like say request a change or try it. If you see something where it says that, cool. If not, just send me an email and we'll fix it.
Active track,
That's right.
and then that I can't click any of it. And it's not showing me like the APIC one, like how yours pops up on like track and timesheet either. And I think that's why this looks like that. And it's
Yeah.
nothing popping up, and I think Hannah and Aaron and all that. So we're like, I don't know.
Oh, that's weird.
Cause I can see my supervisor and my site and all that on here perfectly fine. But I don't see anything else. Like it says all the correct things, but I can't do anything.
Okay. Cool.
I stumped you.
Yeah, what I'll have to do, let me,
Like, right now.
this is why it's a soft launch and we're not requiring anything right now. It's mostly a site catalog because we're still figuring some of those things out. Okay, let me see
They can.
if there is like a weird,
Like you need to like get random access kind of a thing.
yeah. Let me look into it.
Okay, but that is where it's supposed to pop up, right? Like
Yep.
Right here, the.
Yep,
short
that's
box
exactly.
APIC.
Yep.
Okay.
So let me just see
Figure it out.
real quick. Staff and student.
We appreciate you.
Uh,
We love technology.
uh-huh,
Can you show me how to add a supervisor?
yeah. Okay, let me see if you, okay, you're under your student. Password save. Students. Sites, program, GSCP, active. Okay. Um. Practicum 2.
Okay.
Yes, sometimes it needs to be restarted, but I don't know if that was. Wait, go back to home. Just okay,
Sorry, I'm going, like.
yeah, time sheets.
I sent-
Eh,
Funky.
yeah, okay, I'm not sure. I will work on that.
Yes.
So you and Hannah and Aaron are all having the same problem,
I think so. 'Cause we were
Okay.
all Kind of like.
trying,
figure it
like
out.
figuring it out. Okay, okay. I will see. My guess is that there's something, I mean, everything that I know to look for is right, but
Yeah,
I'll just,
there's something weird.
yeah, there's something weird. I'll check. I will look into it and I'll let you know. I'll text you and say, hey, try it again and
It would
see if
be
it
us
works.
three, though.
Right? It would be.
It's not perfect.
I know. You knew it, taught me. Okay.
On here, and processing your big, never, a couple people I've had to create.
Well, that was them upload, like the
Yeah.
upload.
Some screens got crossed.
Well, and there, some of them, the hours the hours like not even popping up correctly. So I'm gonna have to like call them.
Okay, so Hannah Henderson. I think. I'm really good at that fingering.
Oh, you actually go up there, and then go to staff student. And then plus sign over there.
Well, it's very good.
Oh.
Yeah, she can be added to. Providence. Take them.
Yeah,
How do I do that?
so then go back to there. I thought you were adding a whole new supervisor. So go back to program management. And then, yeah. And then supervision.
Yep, there's a name.
Right here, the red. That are in there. Ryan, did you have a question?
Is it worth trying to? Or is it?
Oh. Is what not gonna work? Oh, I don't think it doesn't really, it's not accepting like audio or video files. So it's a Tavera thing. Yeah, no, it's not.
So
I don't think so.
now it says for Hannah that she, because she's
Supervises, click this. Supervises, you need to identify specifically
right.
who she's supervising. Because otherwise, anybody associated with that site will put her as a. So, hey. Okay, we can.
Oh, yeah, sorry, no, that was, oh, no, okay, I was like, oh crap, I was trying so hard to make sure, so let me give you a second, so.
All right. Okay, where are we?
Sorry. Okay, so Providence. Out period.
Try to warn you. Hello. How's it going?
Good. Two questions. One, did you get in contact with Marcy Hunt, the director at TSU?
I sent her an email, or at least I thought I sent her an email, but when I was looking at everything last night, I was like, this is a draft. So she didn't get it.
Cool. I just noticed it wasn't there and
I
I
have-
wanted it there.
Yeah, it is in the sites that I'm talking about today.
Cool.
So I know, I know it.
It's there.
I know it.
It's beautiful.
She just has got the.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Follow-up question. Do we have a legend or a key for the colors? I know you said you're gonna put out
Yeah,
the tag.
I will
Okay.
put that up. Carolyn has that, and I put that up last.
The color legend.
The,
It's fun
because
to
you
list
put
the
like the
tags.
color
The colors
coded
are helpful.
with the tags.
Yes.
You
Yes.
color coded them, so
Uh-huh.
we're just gonna put a legend on.
Okay,
so
yeah,
we'll
we
just put that.
Yeah, you can also just, well, they should say like therapy.
They do not.
They don't, it just says,
It's just
it
the
just
color,
says
the
this,
color bar.
it says the color and then,
That won't give anybody anything, but it's just like typed and all that.
Yeah.
So if you go into your site, can you bring me your laptop for a student view? Because unfortunately I have the admin view. Sorry, I've got like 42 IT requests right now. So it's
42 ID.
It's like there.
Yeah, okay,
So,
what? Yeah, hi, sorry.
So.
We're just getting it in.
So that.
So next year, you will need to use Severa to have your signatures, because that's how we're gonna start tracking things. For this semester? Just use time to track. For this semester, just use time to track. I would finish it.
Well, yeah, it's just that I don't think.
You don't have to worry about it. Like,
So.
we'll just keep it, well, in internship, you have to re-upload everything for internship anyway.
It's like, they're all therapy types.
Yeah, you don't upload signatures, you just upload your hours. And then she verifies that everything has been signed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do both. You should, though it'll probably be easier if you combine them at some point, but yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
So.
if, so there is a way to bulk upload them. So as soon as that, there is an article on that, and so I'll post to tell people how to bulk upload them. If not, then I would just keep the time to track and then do that, and then add the two numbers when you go to upload them. in it versus trying to do them manually. I wouldn't. Yeah. Just one semester is a little bit easier to.
Amber, check
Yeah.
out. If there's a couple tag, they can see them. If
Yeah.
there's not, they can't. Like, because I was explaining to her that since the 15 was 8. So I'm wondering if we should do like site type and practice type, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that really the tags are there for like when you're searching. So like seeing all the tags doesn't really matter so much as like being able to say like we've tagged these sites for these things so that when you're like looking up, like you're trying to search and filter, it's using the tags as a filtering system
But I guess like.
than it is like a,
What, I don't think it allows you to do that.
yeah.
But there's another one to do that or their tags that help like the section.
Yeah, so yeah, that's one of the tags is like you can put, so go to tags, over some more. Oh, you're in tags. No, she's doing tags. That's correct. Yeah.
Oh, so that's-
Yeah. Yeah.
Begin. I have a quick question on the evaluation. So
Yeah.
that's the evaluations of all the professors, right?
No, there's evaluation, your practicum site evaluating you for at practicum.
Okay, and has that been sent to them?
Yep.
Okay, so should we just kind of,
Ask them about it.
Ask them
Mhm.
about
And if not, it's also, the link is also in Canvas. If you have questions, like if they don't have it or anything, you can also just open it up in Canvas and manually send it to them if for some reason they don't have it.
okay, and then the hours?
Yeah.
Is that just,
That's your semester hours.
yeah, and that just has to be up on Severa?
It doesn't have to be in Tavera. You can just do whatever you've been doing this semester. Give them all of your hours for the semester and have them sign it in front of them.
Oh, give of my supervisor
Yeah.
the hours, and, okay,
Turn them in and then you turn it into us.
okay.
Yep.
Okay, is there somewhere I upload it?
Yep, in Canvas. Yep. Okay.
You could let people know that I'm gonna get to Slack like sequentially, but I probably won't get to all of them during the morning.
All right. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, lots of questions and techie things. This is why it was a soft launch, right? So the techie stuff won't be detrimental at this point. Again, the biggest thing is being able to navigate the site catalog, and then any tech things that do come up, let us know. There are some things that we can fix on our end. Some of them, will have to talk to Tabera, but they're usually pretty quick about things. So just let us know what's going on. Dr. Ellis is working her way through and answering questions that are coming up in Slack. Yes, okay. With that, let's go ahead and talk about practicum process and important dates. So this is, we've changed it a little bit. In the past, we did multiple rounds, right? Like we had round 1 match, round 2 match, well, pre-select, round 1 match, round 2 match. We've collapsed them. And so what we're doing is we will still have pre-select with HCC going first, and the applications will open today, and they'll offer positions on a rolling basis until they fill all their spots. They have 9 spots at HCC. They take every level, so at any point. And we'll also have a Q&A today at 11 with Bill and Luann will come and be available for you all. So that opens today. And then we have what we're calling direct. Then we're going into overall match site. We have 2 processes. One is a mini process, which is what we're calling a direct offer. So it's a match system still, but there are a handful of sites
that are, that work with protected populations specifically, that they are going around the match and get a short window where they can offer directly to the folks that they want to offer to. So the sites that are part of the direct offer sites are obviously HCC is already there, the VA, first responders, Chamawa, and our OHSU sites. Okay, so if you apply to any of those sites, there's a small window where they can give you a direct offer and you don't have to go through the match. Okay, after that, if you apply to any other sites, they go to the match system and they should not, and you cannot accept an offer from somebody that is not one of these open offer sites. Okay. So the important dates. So again, instead of it being multiple timelines, multiple applications outside of the HCC, which is its own thing, we've collapsed it all into one timeline so that way there's more time for you to actually interview, and it not getting like stacked on top of each other. Also, so that the supervisors have more time to interview the number of folks that are applying. So the first date is of course the pre-select date, which starts today and closes on January 13th. And this is again HCC. Then on January, I think I said January 8th. Yeah, January 8th, almost said it tonight. The day we come back from break, is when applications open. The day we come back from break is when applications open. Do not send your materials before then. The day we come back, you can start to send your applications, okay? And then the applications close on January 18th. So you have 10 days to turn in your applications wherever you want to apply. After that point, applications are closed and you cannot apply any other place. Between January, so let me roll back. On January 18th, sorry. On January 18th, applications close at noon, 12 noon. And then after that point, invitations for interviews can start happening anytime after noon on the 18th. Okay, so interviews can open between January 18th to February 8th. All right, so that's the interview period. On February 8th, all interviews will stop, and we're still in the process of confirming with Pacific, but we are coordinating with Pacific so that they're doing the same thing. So this should also help with equity around Pacific students' offers as well as your offers. So that's the window, and everybody should be starting and stopping at the same time. Then the short window for the direct offers. So as soon as the application or the interview period closes on February 8th, direct offer window opens. Okay, so any of those sites, which is the VA, OHSU, Chamawa, or first responders, they can begin offering them. And then that closes on February 13th. Okay, and then match starts on February 13th. That day is when the rankings are due. Okay, so if you did not apply to one of those sites or you did not get an offer by noon on February 13th, you must submit for ranking. Okay, if you do not submit for ranking and you did not get an offer, you won't get a site. So please submit for your rankings. Okay, so rankings are due by 5 p.m. on February 13th. Okay, and then match day is the 15th. So that's the process. Again, we've kind of collapsed it down so that there's not multiple application processes. We try to give you a little bit more time, but also get you matched earlier in the season. If for some reason you did not get a site, then we're going to do a clearinghouse. We're also doing that with Pacific. So we will see what sites don't have, didn't get matched with the student, which students didn't get matched. And we're working on collaborating with Pacific and seeing what students they didn't have and what sites they have left over. And then we will be working with you all on what the next steps are. Yeah.
So something to be aware of that is not matching in the initial practicum phase is not abnormal, it's not harmful, it's not a sign of anything wrong. Oftentimes you have people like who are on a specific track, like assessment or something like that, and they're like, look, my track requires that I get a site like this, or my track requires, what do I do? And that's why we're collaborating with Pacific, because like last year, they had a couple people who needed therapy sites, and we had a couple people who needed assessment sites. Right, and they were like, well, we'll give you our assessment sites, if you give us our therapy sites, because the tracks need that. So please understand that if you don't match in the initial process, it's not something wrong. Oftentimes it's a, hey, I need a blue and the only ones left are red and gold, right? Can you help me find a blue site? So keep us apprised if you're struggling to kind of align with your track or hours that we need for an internship thing, so that we can help calibrate that with you. But please understand that this is not like a, oh no, you didn't match. It's like, okay, you didn't find the site that you needed, let's get you the one that you needed.
Okay. Any questions about the process? Yes. Yes, so if a site does not fill their spot during that direct offers time, or in time before it closes, they too will go into match, and they will rank whatever students they have left that they want to offer to, and you will rank them as well. So if they don't have somebody who accepts it but in time, then they'll also go into match. Okay. All right, so that's the big practicum stuff. The last piece, and we went through this really quickly, y'all. I'm proud of us. Good job. The last bit is I'm gonna do a brief site overview of the new sites. Okay. Do you want to go first? I think the first ones are. So here's our new sites.
All right, so Polk County Behavioral Health, this is actually the Aid and Assist Division. So Polk County, many of you know that my partner is the Emergency Medical Services Division Chief for Polk County, and the DA's office and Polk County Behavioral Health have been lamenting a desperate need for more psychological support services. And I said, well, I have resources. So Carrie Hammerschmidt and Jennifer Lee, who are the head of the Aid and Assist Division, this is the in-between. These are the people who did not land in the state hospital, but are not necessarily safe to be on their own. They are in adult foster care. They are actively incarcerated half the time due to anomalies and behaviors and things like that. So this is a forensic site that gives you the opportunity to do therapy, crisis assessment, and as much assessment as your little heart desires, but in really creative, try doing block design with somebody who's actively handcuffed to a table. Right, so we get fun, we get creative. When we do our assessment reports for this site, you and I are going to do them line by line, because they are going to be read out loud to a judge and an attorney. But it's a really fun and wonderful site, and currently Katie Carlson is there, so you're welcome to talk to her to support here. We just finished an assessment, and it is now going to kind of civil litigation to get a patient support services that he's never eligible for before. So really wonderful, phenomenal, fruitful work. But she is able to do walk-in crisis assessment. She's able to be in the jails. She's able to travel to different jails to work with different people, and she's also able to do outpatient for people who have recently gotten out of jail and are looking to prevent relapse and everything. So it's a really fun site, very supportive group, very high volume. It is currently a paid practicum from Polk County, and they are looking at kind of avenues of sustaining that, possibly transitioning to like travel assistance and all of that, but they are very sensitive to the fact that we are traveling. So really wonderful site, but forensic, active, and you will be dealing with fluid psychosis and actively incarcerated people most of the time, who are so happy to talk to you because you're nice. But at the same time, just bear in mind, it's a unique site. So really wonderful opportunities. You could really lean heavily therapy there if you wanted to, or you could lean heavily forensic assessment as well. So Eugene Center for Anxiety and Stress. So Dr. Pauline Camo, who is a former intern of mine and really wonderful person. This is an assessment site. They are willing to work with us on a hybrid format, so they're willing to have you come and do a long day of assessment. They're willing to let you do the other day as report writing and kind of digital supervision attendance. So they're really willing to work with people, but this is very heavy assessment, predominantly assessment. And boy, will you get assessment. You will have so much assessment at Eugene Center for Anxiety and Stress. Like you could do 2 full-scale evals a day and they'd be like, would you like another one? So it's really heavily assessment and a lot of hours and a lot of report writing. So, but really phenomenal and supportive supervisor and supervision network. So really wonderful people. So Salem Bariatric. So we previously had a relationship with Salem Health and then they kind of lost some supervision. So we're going to do, I'm like,
Oh, I was like, what did I put?
almost. Yeah.
Almost, he's almost
So,
there.
Daryl, where's Daryl? Yeah, hey, so we've been trying to onboard. Salem Health has one of the most hilariously, ridiculously robust credentialing and barrier-based systems to bringing on students. And they were like, well, we need his license. I'm like, he's a student, he's not licensed. They're like, well, then we can't have him. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, wait a minute, never mind, we need to bring him back. So anyway, I've been in the process of getting credentialed with Salem Health, which is like a 42-part, legal process that I'm in the process of doing. So we are slated to start January 1st. Yes, but so it's not Daryl's fault. It's just Salem Health has put us through the gauntlet and set the rings on fire. So, but anyway, so Dr. Nair, I worked with him extensively years ago, really wonderful bariatric group, really invested surgical group. So you're going to be doing pre-surgical evaluations for successful bariatric surgery outcomes, support groups pre and post surgery, as well as individual therapy for people who need some kind of remediation in order to be right and prepared for therapy. So it is a balanced site where you will be doing assessments. And they will constitute integrated reports. They include an MMPI and some objective assessment measures in addition to clinical interview, as well as group and individual therapy. So you will get all 3, and it is classified in the medical setting. And then Aspire Psychology is another group that Dr. Nelson and I met with. So this is a private practice. They predominantly worked historically with Pacific students, but really incredibly invested psychology supervisors in a private practice model, really want intimate, in-depth case conceptualization knowledge and the ability to work with patients throughout a longer course of treatment and get really in depth. So what they wanted to do is they wanted to start with as a supplemental, just kind of get to know our students and get to know our network and support system. But you're looking at the ability to have really intimate supervision over carrying long-term clients for really in-depth care. And so, and they do support the broad spectrum of theoretical orientation. So if you want to flex your adult wings, or if you really want to get psychodynamic and get your own Freud couch, they're totally down with that. But clean the couch, okay? If you've ever seen Freud's couch, he never washed those blankets, and that's really upsetting to me. So, I think
It's primarily adult,
Yeah.
but there are some like.
I basically it's 14 and up, kind of the Oregon people who can seek therapy on their own, right?
Yeah.
And then it's presently they want their first year to be a supplemental. So what did they say? Like, yeah, so basically because they wanted to get to know students, get to know this setup, but as a supplemental, it's still going to provide like 4 or 5 hours of therapy a week, right? So but they requested to initiate as a supplemental just so that they could really get to know and see if it was a feasible model.
Okay, and so we've been really working to expand the types of sites that we have. We haven't had that many university sites, so Lewis and Clark it has added on. They have a pretty robust training program for students. So they have tons of opportunities and certifications and opportunities for university long-term therapy. So it is university setting. They did note that a predominant number of their patients, their student population is LGBTQ+, so it is a predominant population that you'd be working with there. So if anybody's interested in doing kind of queer therapy, this is a really great spot for you to be working with that population. Let's see here. Also, Portland State University has added their assessment track back. So this is LD and ADHD assessment primarily. It is an advanced standing site with Dr. Marcy Hunt. So that will be happening as well. We are still in the process of this one, figuring out exactly what this is going to look like, but first responder psychology with Dr. Stephanie Kahn, and she works with first responders. She's a former police officer and works with firefighters, police officers. She's got huge contracts with several police departments around the Portland metro area. And she focuses on trauma-informed care, moving away from any type of psychodiagnostic or evaluations or assessments. So there's absolutely no evaluation or assessment. It's only supportive therapy. Part of the reason for that is because there are a lot of first responders that get really worried about these competency evaluations and that becoming a barrier for them being able to do their work. And so she makes it very, very clear that they do not do assessment or evaluation, but it is supportive trauma-informed therapy. She does a ton of stuff, a lot of individual and group things, trainings, and so has lots of opportunity for you to support and shadow trainings for whole departments. And then she does a lot of EMDR and trauma-informed care. So she would want folks that have some exposure and experience with first responders and exposure and experience with trauma. Those are really big important pieces because of the population that you're working with. And then she also did note, this is just my note, is on January 16th through the 20th, she's worked to bring in a peer support EMDR training. So EMDR training is so expensive. It is very, very expensive. However, there's this one person who is a former non-police officer, firefighter, who has like one of the only people in the nation that does this peer support EMDR training. And she's offering it. There's a couple of spots left, and it's $300. That sounds like a lot as a student, but given how expensive EMDR training is, that is pennies. So if anybody's really interested in EMDR or is interested in doing first responder care or working with Dr. Khan, I'd recommend looking into that. I'll post the flyer and information on that as well. Yes. The Portland Anxiety Clinic is in association with, it's an affiliate of Collaborative Care. And Dr. Erin Cook, who's a dear friend of mine, she is opening up her assessment a site and spot to our students. They've only ever taken Pacific students in the past. And shout out to my collective care peeps, because she's like, oh my gosh, your students are amazing. Can we please have them? And I'm like, yeah, I know they're amazing. I've been telling you. So shout out to you all, because she was like, I definitely need some George Fox students in my life. So because of that, we have this open, and so it is comprehensive assessments and specifically around neurodevelopmental disorders. And then, okay, my Spanish people, I'm gonna apologize. Raíces de Bienestar. Again, a bilingual site. fantastic opportunity here. So Dr. Zuniga, she was the one, she used to work at Pacific, and she was the director of their Latinx track over there, has left Pacific and has now started this nonprofit organization. And it has these 3 pillars. One is community liberation, which is really talking about outreach. How do we get out into the community? So right there, it says like mental health and well-being for the community, by the community. So it's about the providers going out into the community and being part and training folks and connecting with. The second is capacity building, and that is really that training piece. So there's the outreach, then there's the training, and then the third piece is the culturally grounded mental health. And so as students, I mean, it's mostly hybrid or mostly virtual, with opportunities again of going out into the community and doing work. But there's just some really fantastic opportunities there in learning from Dr. Zuniga as well as Dr. Bueno. They're both incredible psychologists and they're looking for bilingual folks. There are opportunities for folks that don't speak Spanish. They'll primarily be working, doing supplemental work, and it'll be mostly working with children. But if you are still interested and you're not bilingual, there may be opportunities there, but just know that preference is given to those that are fluent in Spanish. Yeah.
So we had a chance to talk to them about submissions. So this is, it's also semi-non-traditional hours. We inform them that George Fox protects Mondays and Tuesdays, but a lot of the work that they do is actually evening-based because they're waiting for people to get off work. Right, so they're working with Spanish-speaking persons, and they're helping them to basically understand access to resources, improve the quality of their lives. Basically, again, empowering the community. That's why they call it liberation. They're empowering the community to build the systems that the community needs and utilize the resources in the community to improve their overall quality and intergenerational quality. And so a lot of what she was saying is some of your work is going to be like 6, 7, 8, and supervision will be at 9 o'clock. Just because they're going to be doing some of this, so just something to be aware of. Now it's really wonderful if you have other work schedules and stuff like that, like it can be a really wonderful site. But they will be, we're going to be scheduling an independent Zoom for bilingual students or students who have a genuine interest in this, and you'll be able to actually talk to them a little bit more about what they're looking for, because they really want to get to know people. They're also willing to work. We talked about, you know, there are very. You may speak Spanish and English, but you may not speak Spanish for clinical, you know, like that some of the language just, it can be really hard, or you have like, you know, Peruvian dialect and you have other variations. They said they're happy to work with people on that. Don't worry, they'll work with you on mastering Spanish with a clinical context as well.
Yeah, so if you are interested, email me so that I can get you on the list from when we set up that Q&A. And the last one, Portland VA, which we've had in the past, but the number of sites and opportunities there have expanded. It's kind of small, I can't read it from here, but those are them. There's a 2-year neuropsych position, and then there are sites at a variety of places, and then we're pending a women's clinic opportunity as well. So we're hoping that works out quickly. So there are two supervisors in the women's clinic that have been talking about wanting a student. And so Dr. Rosie Fischketchel, she's been working on them and talking to them about like how great you all are as George Fox students. So we're hoping that that works out by the time applications open as well.
Can
Yes.
first year sign up for EMDR training?
First years can sign up for EMDR training, yes. Yep. Okay, and then last but not least, some other sites that are still pending. And again, we're hoping will be figured out or confirmed by the time applications open, things to be looking out for. So Newburgh Pediatrics, Corbett Psychologicals is an assessment site it's mobile, it's a mobile site. So you go to multiple different places around the area to do psychological assessment. Polk County DA, Polk County Fire and EMS, Morrison Family Services and their refugee system, that's also a bilingual opportunity. English, I can't. Spanish, English, bilingual opportunity as well. And they have a very similar mission around community liberation and support. But specifically what they have are it's kind of crisis evaluation for refugees that have just arrived here, to figure out what is, do they have somebody here that they can live with, and figuring out where they go next. Then they have a community program where folks have been placed or they have identified a place or a family member where they can move to, and then they have kind of a 8 to 9 month waiting period. And so then there's that community and school program where you'd be working. And then the third is community once they've been placed in a long-term home. So that's the third.
Oh, yeah, I was just gonna,
So, it's currently being built, so I cannot guarantee it any timeline, but Polk County Fire and EMS is partnering with the county and they want to do a community paramedic program and they want to do a community mental health paramedic. So as a student, you would be paired with a paramedic, you would respond to psychiatric crisis, suicide risk and all of that stuff. So you would actually leave at the fire station and be partnered with an ambulance. And you would respond to patient calls in real time from psychiatric crisis, which I'm really crossing my fingers that we can get this up and running soon.
Okay, and then the last is, do you want to talk about Abacoa School?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So Abacoa is a school in Salem. They're predominantly looking for their middle school age range, looking at predominantly therapeutic support, but also observation in the classrooms, faculty support, faculty and patient and parent education. So really kind of looking for a comprehensive. They're just a little slow with their school board. They're genuinely interested and they want to work with us. Their school board has just been very slow and kind of considering, and very similar to Salem Health, and they're also located in Salem. So they might be talking to each other. So Abacoa is looking at having somebody on site to do really comprehensive integrated schoolwork as well. So that's coming down the line. And I'd like to point out too, in addition to this, we have a lot more sites that have expressed interest. We've just only had so much time to meet with people and really onboard them. So if you have a site in the community or someone you've been working with, or you're looking at making a site a permanent or long-term practicum, feel free to reach out. We're happy to collaborate and work with people, even if it's just for you. That's fine by us. But we want to make sure that we're working with all of our community partners.
Under my jacket, there's a box. All right, y'all. We have basically reached the end. Can you believe it? Oh, thanks, the two people lightly patter. Okay, so, I went back. Okay, so I have a few quiz questions. And then the first folks that yell out the right answer, get a candy bar. Okay, so what famous musical artist was quoted at? Let's do you want to bring that up? Yeah. Granny. Okay. Yes, Lizzo 2022. Okay, what cartoon character and their catchphrase was featured? I heard, was that Stus? I think that was Stus. Hunter and you, okay, over there. All right. This one I think will be fast, so I'll wait until you're ready. What celebrity reminded you to trust the process? I heard somebody over here. Who was it? JC? Okay. All right. Where are the 2 places that you can find the Practicum library? What's happening over here? What is happening? Okay, I heard somebody over here. Yeah. Okay. Okay, oh, I see you on Canvas, on chat. Sorry, ladies, my bad. I'll save you a candy bar. I'm like, Oprah, Canvas. I'm sorry. Okay. What is the important button that you need to use first when you're in trouble in Tavera? Over there. All right. Only a couple more questions. All right. Where can you find training videos in Tavera? I heard somebody say, what was it? What was that? Learn. That's pretty close. It's called Learning Space. Yeah, somebody else was saying space. Yeah, Christian. Okay. Yes, Learning Space. Okay, 2 more questions. What are supplemental and auxiliary sites called now? I heard Chanel before I even got it out. All right, this one's kind of a trick. It's not a trick question. It's not a trick question. How many separate rounds are there now in the practicum application process, excluding HCC? Andy and Chanel got the last one. Okay, that's the end of the trivia. Okay, last bit. What's next? What's up, Doc? Please explore Tavera. Do let us know what's going on. We may or may not be able to fix it immediately, but I want to keep track of things so I can be talking to Tavera. But do ask help first and see if they can help you out, okay? Explore your sites, make your list and check it twice. Yeah, I know. It's Christmas, y'all. Prepare your materials so that you don't get caught off guard when we come back, because applications open when? Yeah, January 8th, the day we come back. And this is 9th, but it opens on the 8th. That's just me putting that in it. I won't tell you when. Meet with your mentors, ask questions, be that Dr. Ellis or myself, students that are currently at sites that you're interested in, your clinical team mentors, other mentors about what you'd like to do, what would be good. Pay attention to the announcements. And then if you are interested in the HCC, stay for a Q&A or come back for a Q&A at 11. We'll be in here. And then the application for HCC opens today. And last but not least, y'all. Last but not least, don't forget that we have community gathering today at 11:30 and you get free lunch. So come back, make cookies, make intern packets and have some fun. Okay, Dr. Ellis and I will be around if you have questions, and that's all I have for you. Okay. Yes. You'll have to sign up. Like I'll send the link and you'll have to do it through there. Yeah. as soon as she sends it to me, I will send it out. Yes. Yeah. Okay. When it comes back. No. That's why.
Stu does not pay for it, so I don't know.
Oh, we paid for it. You all paid for it. We paid. Yeah. Not Stuco. No, it was part of your student fee. Yes, we put it in student fee. Yeah. No, we put it. I said, at the beginning of the year, I said like you'll have a $200 fee, but it's a one-time fee, and then you get access for. Oh, I didn't talk about that. You get access for
Community gathering.
Oh, community gathering
Or you
lunch.
shouldn't have lunch.
Oh, lunch.
I mean, there might just be.
According to Heidi, yes.
All right, well, I don't know who's saying.
I don't know who's paying for it. It might just be the department.
It's
but we're doing it.
there.
Yes, to recovery. Yeah, I thought you meant launch.
So
I thought you said launch. I was like, I mean, it's happening. It's happening. We paid for it. You paid for it. Lunch. Yeah. Yeah. There's usually something. It's because it's going through the buffet. So there's usually something. Yeah.
Like,
Not the full site. Yeah, at least not right now. I'm trying to get it back up and running, but we haven't the last couple of years. So, yeah. There've been some things. So I have not heard back from them about whether or not they're taking students, but the refugee one will be at least a supplemental, if not a full site.